Adios, Mexico. Adios, Mexico. I got it along without you. Adios, Mexico.
Well, that too.
We were on vacation.
Yeah.
It was good.
Chris and I were playing, and Brad and I were playing, and we needed a drummer. And I'm trying to think how did I find you out of
Yeah,
the newspaper?
No, man. See, you don't remember anything. I was before Brad and the band.
Right, okay.
Let me say it. I remember everything.
And
so you
Elizondo.
came. You were
Richard
looking for a
Elizondo was
Mexican
playing
drummer,
right?
And
He would
you
play
went to the
drums
east side and
sometimes.
talked to a lot of musicians. And my roommate
sit
at
in and
that
play
time,
percussion.
David
Wow.
Rodriguez, was playing saxophone with a big Chicano band.
Yeah.
And then it's when you came, and then you were looking for Mexican. And he said, "I know one," and then he told you about me, and then you came to my apartment,
Right.
And then I can open the door, and then you had the Molino album with you, and I started talking all excited about it. Hey man, I need this drummer and blah blah blah, and I was saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, man, I don't know, I'm not in any bands, I'm not gonna play with anybody." And then you insist me to come and play with you, you bug the shit out of me until you convinced me, and then I went for it. Now I was real clueless about what I was getting into, and then I didn't know nothing. I wasn't playing with anybody. I never thought I was going to be a musician.
Oh yeah, and Brad wasn't playing it either. It was just
Let me tell my story because you don't know it. And then you kind of pretty much forced me to go and jam with you guys, and it's when I met Chris and Speedy Sparks, and the basement of the KUT, country with Joe Gracie, and then everything started from there, and then we played for a little while. We were rehearsing on the stuff and played Raul's for a while, and every Monday night. I'll never forget that. And Joe Nick was playing with the Rabies or what? And the white man from Waco. The with the wrestler mask.
Yeah.
He was the front guy. Joe Nick very well at that time. But then he used to.
remembers it all.
I remember that.
He used to collect the money in the front door for us, which we never make any. But
Yeah, because it was always Monday nights. And
nobody cares. And then anyway, so he had the cheating night in life about being a musician and us. And, nobody cares on Monday nights. And then Tuesday night, Wednesday, all the punk rockers and new wavers that were kind of kicking, everybody was there. So anyway, and then we started picking up some gigs in Hole in the Wall, and then it started growing up from there. And then it's when we met Brett there in the Hole in the Wall, I believe. And then Speedy Sparks quit the band, or something happened, and then you asked him if he wants to join the band, and it started.
Speedy started playing with somebody else.
Yeah.
What happened was, Speedy was at the Hole in the Wall. It was a Monday night at Raul's, and I was doing Joe's sound for him. And
okay.
And Speedy wasn't there, and Joe wanted to start the set, and he had an ulterior motive, which I didn't know this. He says, "Hey, you want to sit in?" I played a couple of Chuck Berry songs, and then Speedy comes back, "Give me that bass." And then the next day, Tuesday, Joe says, "Do you want to play bass in my band?" And I was a guitar player, and I didn't even play bass. I said, "Okay, sure." And it took me about that long. And then Friday, we were playing in San Antonio. 3 months later, we were in New York City, and a year later, we were in Europe.
Yeah, we actually got together in September, and
It was like bam, 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 bam.
By November, we were playing in New York City at the Mud Club and
Lone Star
Cafe. We cut our first single.
People want to be watching.
We cut our first single in January, right? That Ivan made. It was Ivan.
Ivan Cooper.
Yeah, and we cut that. And then
In the basement?
No, we at somebody's house somewhere in Austin.
It was
Gretchen. Barbie?
no, it was Chuck Christian, or it was a Christian guy.
Yeah, and it cut it there. Then and then in February we went back to New York and started really playing at CBGB's.
Yeah.
But what made it was the Mud Club. When they asked us, we played Lone Star Cafe, and we were only going to play one or two
the
nights.
Mud Club came after we were freaking to go back to Texas.
Yeah.
And I remember this guy from the Mud Club, kind of weird looking guy. He came to us.
No.
And then he offered Johnny, "I pay you $100, come and play in my club." That was the last $100 we made before we came back to Texas.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
so
like
generous.
a Sunday night or something at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, right.
And
Well-
by the time that word got back to Austin that we had played the Mud Club, we were offered the weekends. And before that, we were only getting Sunday afternoons or Monday nights.
Wednesday.
And all of a sudden, the big bands in Austin were opening for us.
Look at that. Proof. REM opening up for the Crowns. Is that cool or what?
That's crazy.
And then Huey Lewis. 1982. The Vogue.
Well, we cut our first demo like in March of 1980. So in January we made our first single, and by March we're in the studio in the Bronx making our first demo. And,
For Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and we're just now releasing it right now, that demo. But and then a year later, we're over in England, touring England, you know, all over England. It's like really fast, you know. Think about it. You like start in September, and the next September, you're touring, you know, you're on Stiff Records, touring England all over Europe. This is really playing in Berlin, you know. It's cool. Lester Bangs, I don't know if you know who he is. He wrote this article about us. We were playing at 80s Club, and he wrote an article about us. I think the 80s Club said they were going to give us $200 to play, right? And he wrote this. He wrote this article. You know, and he's a really well-respected journalist, and so I show up at the 80s Club, and people are wrapped around the block, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I think the guys gave us $250 that night.
And a bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
It was wrapped. The line was around the block. It's like whoa.
It was like $20, you know. It's like, you know, 200-300 people.
He wouldn't budge on that.
No, it was amazing. So, but you know, it was
the music business.
Bueno.
You need to give these guys some caps.
Yeah. Military.
Although we do not promote, nor do we condone excessive consumption.